Daniel isn't yet on. But most importantly, so just an overview of this session. We're going to have Daniel here today. Daniel is somebody who is doing a lot, to support development of young academy talent in Nigeria here. And yeah, he's using a lot of his personal resources and his dedication, his time. A lot of effort is going into it. So please come ready and prepared with your questions for him. I know that a lot of what he says might be more applicable to Nigerian academies, but stay tuned. You might get one or thing. You might pick up one or two things. And just so you all know, this is the very first edition of Baller Sessions. And we're going to be having stakeholders from different, parts of Africa. So today we have a director of an academy in Nigeria. Next week it's going to be somebody else. Could be someone in South Africa. It could be someone in Kenya. We also have people who are doing some interesting things. Have you guys heard of, I don't know if anybody has heard about applications of football. Applications of blockchain in football. Yeah, we're going to have somebody talk about that. Okay, Daniel is here. We're going to have somebody talk about blockchain, the applications of blockchain in football in the coming weeks. So let me just, let's have Daniel join. Okay. This is actually my very first Instagram live. So bear with me, basically. Hey, so welcome, Daniel. We are honored to have you here. Let me just do a brief introduction. Daniel is a friend of Baller Showcase, and Baller Showcase is a friend of Daniel and what Daniel does. Daniel is the director of and the founder of Honor Football Academy. Honor Football Academy was actually one of the academies that participated in our first season of African Football Wonder Kids Challenge. Daniel is doing a lot, and I'll just give him the floor to introduce himself. Daniel, welcome. What do you want us to know about you and what you're doing?
All right, thank you so much. It's done a little introduction. My name is Daniel Ono. I am the founder, technical director, and head coach for Honor Football Academy. I think I'll go into why, as we go into the discussion, why I started the academy. And, first of all, I played football. When I was younger, I played football for schools, and then my younger brother also plays football. So I got into coaching by coaching my youngest brother. He's actually 9 years younger than I am. So I started coaching him when I was in secondary school, and that was how I got into coaching. So coaching was something that happened accidentally, and then I went to further my education in coaching, get many certificates, and then I discovered certain things, and that's why I started the management agency for footballers as well. So basically that's what I do. I'm a football coach, a technical director, and also an agent. I help players, not only in Nigeria. I have many players who are in other parts of the country who are managing, trying to help them to get clubs, across the globe. So basically that's what I do.
You mentioned that you are licensed, right? We've gotten some coaching licenses. I know if anybody goes through your profile, they'll see that there's a UEFA. You have some kind of UEFA license. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, so basically, I do not have any Nigerian coaching certificate at the moment, and there's a lot of reasons behind that. Not because I did not want to, but currently the way the football is structured in Nigeria is so, I would say it's so bad. It's just that there are no structures in place. The same way there's no structure in place for footballers, there's no structure in place for the coaches. So the coaches don't produce good footballers because there's no structure in place to train coaches. Majority of the coaches in Nigeria are roadside coaches. They are not certified. Even though I belong to the Coaches Association in Lagos and the council where I am, and even many of them are not also certified. And it's not really their fault. It's that the structure from the Football Federation doesn't allow them to. It's just for a few people. So they are not. So most people just go for seminars, symposia, stuff like that, for them to have any kind of training. And that's not really enough. So what I did was, thank God for the internet, I was able to go online, pay the United Soccer Coaches. That's where I got my first license from. The United Soccer Coaches is a coaching body in the United States of America. And then I began coaching. I have my pre-national, my national diploma from there. And then I also went to UEFA as well. The UEFA have a coaching, an online coaching platform for anybody, basically. And I recently got theirs. So that is to enable me to issues in Nigeria in terms of coaching, fielding older players in age group competitions. I had to, take that issue up in the coaching council, that we're having an under 15 championship or match, for example, and you are seeing a 19-year-old, a 21-year-old in that match. And I'm like, what is the point? I'm sure you saw the post of a competition, a school competition in Africa, where Congo, or is it Congo or which country? Against Senegal, they were feeding.
I'm not related to the subject.
They were feeding men against 16-year-old boys, 15-year-old boys. Or not those men would win. But the first thing when I did my foundation in coaching, the first thing they will teach you is that you have to, age grade competitions has to be done for age grade, because yes, if you put a 16-year-old against a 10-year-old in any sports competition, 16-year-old would win, because he has the age advantage. Mentally, he has grown mentally more than those people. But you are not helping that 16-year-old, because he's not playing against his own age grade. He's playing against people who are lower than him. So when you take him abroad to play against his age grade, he can't perform. That's the problem Africa is having. We have players that will go abroad, they will only play for 2, 3, 4 years, and we don't hear of them again. And the question is why? Because they've not been developed. They've been playing above. They will lie that, oh, you are 30-year-old, but you are lying that you are 19. But you can't perform. In the high-intensity league, you will never perform. So that's a problem. So that was the first thing I learned in foundations. You cannot do such, which is what many coaches in Nigeria, they encourage people to do that. They lie. So with proper training, we will see that our grassroots football will improve drastically. The problem is that we have coaches who they claim to be grassroots coaches, but they want to become pro coaches, because the mindset of a grassroots coach is different from that of a pro coach. A pro coach is there to win. As a professional coach, you are there to win matches anyhow. You can buy players, you can do anything you can do. But a grassroots coach is a developmental coach. That's the first thing. You are there to develop players, not to win matches. That's what people don't understand. A grassroots coach wants to have record. Oh, I want this title. I want that title. And what do? They have to hire players. In fact, the reason why my academy, in the space of 1 year, is having so many players is that people are leaving other academies to come to our own. They said, we pay money for academy to train. We don't play matches. Why? When it's a competition, our coach will hire somebody else to play the match. We'll just be in bed. So they are not being developed, because the coach has his own interest at heart. The coach wants to win. Rather than looking at, is my player developing? They don't do that. Me, I'm always looking at, are my players developing? That's the difference. You see that Nigerian football is not really developing, because the young people who are supposed to be given the opportunity, they're not given the opportunity to play. That the chances for them is given to other people. So that's a real problem in football right now. The coaches are. I don't really blame the coaches. It's just that the federation has nothing at stake for them. They don't train them. There's no any coach you see that's going for training is doing it by his own self, his own money, his own resource. So that is just a problem.
So let's even now dive into the topic of the day, right? Right. Since you just mentioned about how people are coming to your academy, and so give us an estimate, because when I have conversations with people, right, we talk about academies in Lagos. People asking me, oh, are there academies in Lagos? How many are there? Are they like 5? Are they I'm like, you guys have no idea. So can you even give me a rough estimate of how many? Because my own personal account, what we've seen, let me hear from you. What do you how many academies you see and just in Lagos? Let's not talk about Nigeria first. Just in Lagos.
say in Nigeria because I don't have the figure, but I would say as a
Yeah.
member of the Lagos Football Coaches Association, and I'm a member of OTP Solo Igbo Council, because you have to break it down. I would say in Oshodi alone, let me not even add Isolo and Ichigo. In Oshodi alone, I personally know of about those who belong in the society, about 40 academies.
Wow. Just Oshodi.
That I know they come to the council, we meet, I see their coaches, so I can put a face behind the academy. Oh, okay, this person is doing this. These are those I know. There are those that do not belong to the society. I don't know them. Probably those who coach a school team. Because I also coach a school team. I was called on to coach a team, Proprietors Cup. But I discovered that many of people are just coaching the team. They're not really a coach, have no certification, don't belong to the body. You know how things are in Nigeria now. Anybody can just answer coach or stuff like that. So, but if I'm to look in Lagos State, the academies, especially for young people, for teens, you are looking about probably more than 500.
Wow.
I'm
conservative with that number, right?
Conservative. More than 500.
That is crazy.
Because you have different, you know, we have 20 local governments.
Lagos.
In Lagos State. And in every government, they have LCDA. So every LCDA, every community development association can have a society. You know, they got under the council, because there's a Lagos State Coaches Association, which is the broad umbrella. So the local governments, what we have are councils under every local government. Then under these councils, you can have societies, which is where this LCD is. So it is you have a lot. I tell people, when people say, I'm looking for an academy to join, I'm like, you don't need to go far. In Ikeja, I have people who have messaged me from Ikeja, from the island.
You will
just go to different fields.
You have to go far.
Field that you find an academy. You do. But the problem there is that people don't just want to join any academy. People want to join something structured, something that will give them value. So many people may not be able to have the money to go to Pepsi Football Academy or Barcelona Academy or Juventus Academy, because the money is very. To be honest, if you don't have money, if you are not in a top, like the rich or upper middle class, you can't afford to take your child to Baka, because they pay outrageous amount of money. Really, they do. Yes, they do. So many people cannot afford it. We are looking for the next best thing. Where can I get an academy that I'll be properly trained, I'll get the right training, but I'm not going to break the bank to do that.
Wow.
So that is where people have issue. They don't want to join an academy.
So this is another question that we've been getting, right? Like, what is the process? How much does it cost? So that what you just mentioned now, right? That it's quite expensive, the upper middle class. That's very interesting to hear. So let's start from home, right? So Honor Football Academy, what are the fees? What is the process? What's the procedure to join Honor Football Academy today? Okay,
for anyone wanting to join us, so the academy basically for now is for anybody within the age of 8 to 16, 17. The academy from now,
the ages of 8 to 17.
Okay. We are looking at pushing up a senior team for those from between 18 to 23, where we'll have like a senior team where they'll be registered in the divisional football leagues to develop them further. We are working on partnerships. And the reason is this, because we actually do not charge a lot. Let me say, everything you pay is 1,000 naira a month, because we are located in Oshodi. Yeah, it's virtually a free academy. It's a community. It's for the community. Yes, it's for the community. And we discovered that, people, especially in Oshodi, there's no standard academy for people in Oshodi. There's no. Yes, if you want to get any good academy in Lagos, you have to go to Ikeja or Island, where people they give facilities, but you pay money. So what I discovered is that in Oshodi, there's no really a good academy of good standard, good quality. And I said, okay, let me do something where I'm based, where I know the environment, and that's why I started the academy there. And we have people who support. academy. Yes, we have people who support, from Nigeria, outside Nigeria. In fact, we've had people donating books to different players, donating kits to players, donating money to buy team jerseys. So that, we want to take away that burden from
parents and the
players. Want to take away the burden from the players.
For anybody that has.
So it's even.
I just want to mention that 1,000 naira is just it's less than $3 for anybody that is just curious to know what that amount is, right? So it's crazy, right? The Honor Football Academy just charges $3 essentially a month, because, like you said, a lot of people can't really afford to cover this cost. Kit costs, boot costs, all these things, right? And that's very impressive. That's very commendable. The fact that you guys are doing this at a very affordable amount, and this will also be like a call to sponsors, right? Because you can see directly the outcome of the support, right, that they are giving.
A lot of things we are doing, and it's for basically anybody within Oshodi will be able to benefit from academy. Basically, I always tell people say, "Oh, you're outside." I said, if you're outside the academy, it's going to be a bit difficult in terms of transportation, where you are coming to the academy ground and all that, because we train in the afternoons, basically after schools, during the weekdays. So during the weekdays, it's going to be very difficult for
that environment,
anybody outside to come. So I always tell them, go to a place close to you. We do a lot of things. We get beeps for the players. Most of them don't even have jerseys. We encourage them to buy jerseys, to buy books. That's why we went with people. I talked to people using my own influence. Hey, get kits for this player. In fact, we had a foundation, Joy Exclusive Foundation, where I went to speak. She was so impressed that she sponsored 10 players to get kits for 10 players. So things like this is what we are doing. Yeah, this is what we are doing to encourage the players. We put them in competitions to test them, because at the end of the day, not everybody is going to be a professional footballer, but they are going to learn things from the academy. They're going to learn discipline, teamwork. There are many skills they'll learn that are outside, and for me, it's a way of also giving back to society, giving back to these children. Parents are like, wow, you are doing an amazing thing. People are like, this is something that you don't get to see anywhere. So I'm really happy doing this. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I don't think I'll stop. I'll keep doing this, to give back. And for those who are extremely good, we are having plans, to see how we can sponsor them. We reach out to people who want to sponsor either their education or people who are really good, because I have a network agents. Okay, you know what? We have this guy that's really good. Why don't you take him out? Help him, see what you can do. So that's what we are trying to do with the academies, to give people and give these children opportunities that they would never have had. They would never have had on their own. So we are just here to give them, to make them see that, hey, come, you're not alone. You can just see your dad or your mom. You have a family within the academy that is here to support you. Always. In fact, most times when their parents have issues with the children, they call me. Maybe the children have, in fact, I've seen a change in their attitude, because basically most of these players are public schools, and you know what it means. They are always angry, willing to fight. So it's not just football we are focusing on. There are a lot of things extra that we do for these kids, because primarily I see myself as a developmental coach. I know what I'm doing. If I get a job somewhere, maybe as in a professional team, my mindset will change. That okay now, but when it comes to the academy, coaching kids, teenagers, you are developing them. You are like their second parents. So coaches have to have that mindset that you are not just there to win trophies or win medals. You are here to develop these children. They are the next society. They are the next adults that we're going to have. So that burden is there for coaches. If anybody wanting to join, you have to be within Oshodi, and that's the fee. You have to be willing to learn.
So important things, right?
Level-headed. You don't have any.
So important things to note for Honor Football Academy, located in Oshodi. The recommendation is that you are around. You stay around there so that it is accessible to you. The training sessions, after. So you mentioned that the training sessions take place in the afternoon, right? And that's something that we're curious to know as well. How does education factor into this as a consideration, right? are you expecting everybody in your academy to be having like to be a member, to be in school, to be in like have good grades? Are these recommendations or are these requirements, or it doesn't really matter to you? Because you said you are also a developmental coach, personal development. Some parents even call you to ask for advice. You're almost like a mentor to these guys, right? So how does education factor? Like, are there any things that are tied to their academic performances?
Well, nothing is actually tied to academic performance for now, but every member of our
Okay.
academy must be in school. To play for our academy, you have to, whether in private or public school, government school, you have to be going to school, and you have to be working towards getting your WAEC as
Okay.
your senior
Okay.
secondary school certificate. So everybody, I have players who are going to get their WAEC, their JAM.
Okay.
It is mandatory. There is a list. Anybody from our academy will be a secondary school graduate. You get your WAEC, you get your JAM. So some people may want to further. Some people will want to go and learn, depending on the ability of parents. I have some who are learning various skills, which is good. So you learn a skill that you can use to feed for yourself, improve yourself. So for us, we believe that you're not just going to play football, but you must have the skill, you must have knowledge, you must be able to fend for yourself. And then anything football will give to you is extra. We just don't we don't want players who will just leave school, have nothing doing, probably fall into doing yahoo,
No, we don't want
doing
that.
crime. No, we don't want any of our players actually crime. We want anybody that leaves the academy. Maybe either you go to the university, higher institution of learning, or you learn a skill that you can be able to use to be a good member of society, or you further your education. So those are what we want for our players. So those who come in who are not in any school, we tend to put them in the school, because the field we use is, because we work in the community. The field we use is actually a state-owned school field. So, yes, it's a Methodist primary school.
Okay.
Methodist primary school. They have 2 football fields, one of the fields for our training, for our matches. So we have good rapport with the head teacher, with also the members, the parents. The field is run by some parents, people who are interested in the school, who donate and all that. So we also donate to the running and taking care of the field. Yes, the field. Yes, because most times when you play football, some things could get damaged. We make sure we donate to the school monthly. We donate, we do certain things for the school, because we are using a facility from the school. We are knowing that getting football field is not really easy. So we have to use the one that is on ground. We are always communicating. In fact, the job is not easy, because we communicate with so many parties involved. So anybody who comes to the academy who is not in school will most likely be going to the school, the Methodist primary school, and the secondary school. So we want to make sure that everybody gets educated so that they can add something to society. So, but there's no academic, there's no saying, you must come first or anything. We to make sure that you understand what is going on. You are not fighting in school. You are obedient to your teachers, and we're okay with that.
Okay, so I think maybe we should even take a step back now, right? Because we've even talked about, what it takes to get into the academy and all that. But like, the question that we've been asked is, can you go pro without even joining an academy? What is important? Why is an academy important? Those are 2 questions, right? Why is an academy important? And can you go pro without joining an academy? Yeah, so people are looking for, Nigerians always try and find a way,
Me, I'm always going to be blunt. I'm always going to be straightforward. You will never go pro in football without going through the structure.
Point blank.
Because football, I'm telling you, before I started the academy, I used months in doing research. Before I started the academy, I got certification. I networked with lots of coaches, lots of agents. I have lots of them. I network with them. In fact, being an academy is just 30% of the work. Being in an academy is 30%. You will never go pro. No football team is going to call you for a trial. Is going to call you to come and see what you are doing. Because you are not playing. Because people just think, It's about kicking the ball. I know how to dribble. It's not about that. There's a level, there's a certain level of intensity you can only have when you're playing football at a regular basis. You are training with people who are having the same training, the football training, if the same football regimen as you. You are playing matches, competitive matches at an academy level. There's only an academy can give you that kind of regimen. Playing street football will never give you, because there's no structure in street football. There's no discipline. Because I see people, I tell them do fitness work for 30 minutes. People don't want to do fitness work.
That's what kickball.
But if you are not
Lost Daniel, or is it just me? Okay. We lost you for a moment, Daniel.
And there's a kind of, and there's a
we lost you, yeah.
Oh, okay. The net. Oh, Nigeria. So there's an academy can give you a certain kind of training, professional training, and the academy again has to be a good academy that the coach knows what he's doing. Again, as a coach who has been trained and certified from United Soccer Coaches, this is where the training that foreign coaches have is so different. Is that in an academy there has to be okay. I hope you
yes.
Network is still on. For example, an academy in Nigeria, they just train you. There's no plan. Like for example, every school from primary to secondary, there's a training, there's a plan, there's a curriculum. That's what they call it. It's a curriculum you must go through before you write WAEC. In football, if you go to Europe or if you go to America, where they call it soccer, there is a curriculum. The curriculum in the United States of America starts from the age of 3. From 3 to 18 years, as an academy player, there is a curriculum you will go through before you go pro.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying, there's a difference. Here in Nigeria, we don't have that curriculum. That's why you see America is coming up in football now. You see Pulisic, you see many of their players going in Europe now, playing in Barcelona, playing in Bayern Munich, playing in Chelsea, playing in Everton. Because for us to match up, there has to be a curriculum that our players must follow, which we have imbibed many academies. So if you don't have that, you are not going to survive professional football. Because playing academy already prepares you for people think that football is easy. Oh, it's fun. There's a regimented lifestyle that footballers must follow through if you want to succeed in football. It's like a military lifestyle. You must follow it. Nutrition, health-wise, you must follow it. You can't just say, oh, wake up in the morning, not fit, you want to play ball. You will not last, you will gas out. So playing in an academy already shows you what it means. You must be. When the coach says do something you're not doing, to stay in the bench. If I tell a player do this, or you don't perform in matches, 2, 3, 4 matches, I put you in bench. I put someone that is willing to play. So playing academy gives you an idea of what it's going to be to go pro. But playing academy is just the first step. It's just the first step, exactly. You have other things you have to do. You have to push yourself out there. Get videos of your matches, because people want to see what you are doing. You have to have a CV. That, okay, these are many matches you've played for. These are many teams you've played for. This is the number of goals you scored, or things like that, competitions you've won before a team. You now have to have good marketing, because football is just like music. You have a musician, you have a record label. The record label starts pushing you out there. So it's the same thing as a footballer. You have to, and it's easier these days with the internet. Have a YouTube channel. Get somebody to record your matches, edit them into short clips, your passing, your shooting. Let people see your skills, your abilities. And from there, you are pushing yourself out there. Going pro is not easy. Trust me, it is difficult. It is hard. That's what people don't know. So people just fall prey to so many scammers that, oh, pay this so amount of money, I'll take you to a club. That's not how it works. It doesn't work that way, and there are many scams in Nigeria. So because people want the easy way out, they don't want to put in the work. They don't want somebody to tell them, oh, carry me, go up. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Very hard, very difficult. That is why I tell people only about 0.1% of people, even in academy, go pro, because the competition man, it is stiff. And I always tell people, if you want to go pro, you need to have somebody that's willing to sponsor you, because going for trials are not cheap. Most time, as an amateur academy player, you have to sponsor your trip to the place, your ticket, going for pro. You have to sponsor it, and they're not cheap. So most players don't have anybody sponsoring them. And for such kind of players, I always tell them, go through local leagues. Go join a local team, which is where the stage we are trying to build next, is to have a team for players 18 and above registered in the local leagues, and then sense. We're able to now, if we for them, we are now able to speak to other teams on a club-to-club level, It's not an academy to club now, because there's a difference when you're speaking on an academy to club. That club already has an academy or different academies talking to them. But when you have a club where you have people and or that night have a understanding with different professional or semi-pro teams abroad, so that makes it easier for you. But going pro is not really. There's a way you can make it. It's not easy. The first thing is that you must be a good player. If you are not a good player, it's not going to work. You must be in an academy. Then you have what it takes. The next step is you must have a football highlights of yourself. People want to see if you meet an agent. Highlight video of what you are doing, of your matches. You must have a CV. These are the two things you must have. The most immediate things you must have if you want to promote yourself. Because if you are showing what you are doing, these are the things you are going to show to a coach, a scout, an agent, a club. These are what they're going to look out for. And then, if you really now want to boost yourself,
we've lost you. Okay.
Okay. For them, in addition to having a football CV and video highlights, if you can afford it, get a transfer market profile. What a transfer market profile does for you is that.
Sorry, we lost you there. Did you say transfer market profile?
Yes, transfer. It's spelled transfer market, but it's transfer market. You just remove the E.
Transfer market. So
the transfer market.
Do you say it costs money to register that profile?
What that does,
because we couldn't hear what you're saying.
Oh yes. So if that profile is for professional or semi-pro players, so teams would usually ask for a transfer market. For example, I have a player who he plays in Norway. He's from Pakistan. He has a transfer market profile. So when I'm looking for most scouts, most clubs they will tell you what they want is they want a player. They want a player with transfer market profile. Your video, your CV, everything, your stats, your player stats is already there. So it's easier for them. That is for professional players. So if you have a transfer market profile, in the mind of the club or the agent, this guy is a professional or a semi-pro player. So what it does is that it separates you from the amateurs or academy players. You understand? Just think, if an agent says send me your profile, you just send in your transfer market profile, your transfer market link. That already separates you from others. Yes, it's not like people bring in HND, BSc, and then you have masters. Or let's say you're an accountant. As an accountant, you have ICANN. That already separates you from. That's what the transfer market profile for you. So I always tell players, if you are playing in the Nigerian league, in the MPFL or the National League, try and get a transfer market profile. It's going to cost. It costs around $300. It's not cheap. It costs around $300. Be 150K in Nigerian money. Thereabouts. But if it's not small money, but if you are playing in the Nigerian, I know players in the MPFL that do not have a transfer market profile. I said you're only hindering yourself. If you are playing for Imba, Abia Warriors, MFMFC, you are being paid a substantial amount of money. You can save up to have that because that's an investment in your field. So if you say you want to go abroad, you must be able to invest in what you are doing. It's just the truth. So have that profile. It helps you. It becomes easy for you. you know, but that's for
Professionally.
those who are playing in a local league. I always tell them,
Yes.
it's not for academy players, you know. Academy players, you always think people will be able to take you for tryouts abroad, and then you can start off from there. So that's just the way to go abroad. There's no other way. There's no. Dude, I always tell people. The guy messaged me. He was like, "Oh, he paid some money. They didn't take him abroad." I've met people who went abroad for trials, but it was fake. I said, "You went abroad. You didn't have a CV. You didn't have
Of
a
course, it's
video
fake.
highlight. Trust me, it's scam. Any agent that is telling you, I'll just carry abroad, he does not ask for a football CV, he does not ask for
He's a
a video
scammer.
highlight, he does not explain these things to you. He's just looking for your money. He's just scam, and that day, and because people don't have this understanding, you know, they just
Okay.
fall prey to it. So going pro is
Thank you. Okay. So let's talking more about Honor. So how many players do you have in Honor Football Academy currently on the books?
On the books, currently we have 24 players in the age category. So what we do, we have them in age. We always put them in age categories if we want to play competitions. So for example, there's an under 14 competition we are playing now. So players from the age of 14, 13, 12 would play in that competition from 12 to 14. If it's an under 17 competition, players from the age of 17, 16, 15 would play that competition. So what we do is we share them like that. So in all, we have 24 players, but they are shared
Age categories.
in different age groups. And what we did in training, they don't train together because, you know, obviously the difference is going to show. So those who are 13, those who are 13, 12, 11, 10, they train separately. Those who are 14, 15, 16, they train, you know, differently like that. So they are in two different camps. So all together, we have 24 players in the academy so far. And every month, we have one or two new people who are joining.
So can you join?
Academy, you know.
So you can join at any time, right? You don't have to wait to the beginning of the season or preseason.
Well, the thing is that in Nigeria, for academy or grassroots football, there's no season. It's not like you have in the United States or in Europe where there's a curriculum, there's a guideline. Oh, this is where the season starts. Okay, I'm on Fiverr. I give coaching drills, assessments to players, you know, and I had this. You can sell anything on Fiverr. So I was on Fiverr, and this man is from Ireland or Wales. Yeah, and the son is 15-year-old, and they wanted me to help improve because again, people like to go for one-on-one coaching. You may not really have all the time in a group football to really develop yourself. So you have to train individually. So he wanted me to give his son some tips and all that.
Daniel, we can't see your face.
I did that for the son.
Daniel, we can't see your face.
Videos
Sorry.
for him.
Okay. You're out of frame. Okay.
Really? Okay. So he said the season, I think in the UK, their season works with the calendar year, with the school season as well. That's how they structure it. So he was telling me that this was around January when I did these drills for him. The season was about to start. The season starts in February. So for Europe, for US, they have like a time frame for their season. That's structured. In Nigeria, grassroots football is not structured. You can have one competition this month, another competition in the next 2 months. It's just about anybody can start up a competition anytime. December, February, April. So there's no time to
let's even talk about
join.
So let me jump in there. So I know that Honor held an event, Honor and HMS. So HMS is correct me if I'm wrong, but HMS is like the talent management arm of the Football Academy, right? Yeah. So Honor and HMS held a scouting event in December last year, right? So I want to know how many of these kind of events and what kind of events typically do you afford to members of your academy?
Okay. Because there's a gap. Again, this is not something I should be doing, but I'm doing it.
Bridge that gap.
Try to close any loophole and gap. And yes. So what happens is that I have a network of agents that I work with. I try to meet new people, see what I can learn, network, stuff like that. And yeah, most of these events are usually expensive. Any scouting event now are usually, because of to rent a good pitch and all, is not really easy. So the burden is on the players. You get, and most people don't really understand what I'm trying to do when I did events, because I told them we are going to record it. And why are we going to record the event? So that you are going to have a video highlights. So that it's not about you coming to play, agents coming to play. There will be other agents that might be interested. We need to show them something. And so we've been showing, we have a YouTube channel, all the video highlights are on YouTube. In fact, most of the highest views we have on YouTube are of those video highlights of those players.
That's what people want to see.
People are watching these videos. People are into, so anybody, a scout and agents, can just click on our page or on our channel on YouTube, and they are seeing those highlights. It's something. So, and we also have them as well. So anybody that says, oh, we need a player, so something. And what we also did for them is that we created CVs for them. And at the time, they did not know
of those
the
CVs.
implication, what we were doing for them. It's not just, but those things that start the event, you are going to have them. Anybody can say, you can even have an opportunity outside of us, and they're asking for your CV and video highlights. You can show them.
Okay.
That's a plus for. So most of them didn't understand what we did a lot. In fact, what we did, most people that do trials in Nigeria don't do that. I can bet you they don't do videos for you. They're not going to do CV for you. They will just call you, come and play. They pick whoever they want to pick, and that's all. Because all those things is time. Because we paid a video editor to edit. We paid someone to do the CV for them.
Of course.
All those things is money, is resource. But we know the value. We know what we are working on. We are trying to do. So those events, we are praying that we are able to do it once a year, so that we can gather people. Like, we are even trying to do for females, because many female footballers are like, oh, you did for the men.
That was
to do for the ladies.
That was going to be my next question. Honor Football Academy. I know we have a few academies. Honor Football Academy. What are you doing for the female players? I was going to ask that. You can see, before you even came on, we actually had somebody coming to ask a question, right? She's based in Johannesburg. She was asking what opportunities are there for her. So now, even let's take it back home. Those in Lagos, right? What opportunities is Honor presenting to these female players?
If you are a girl who's interested in football, from the age of 8 to 17, you are welcome to the academy. Right now in the academy, among the 24, we currently have one female player. She trains with the boys, plays with the boys, she plays in matches. We put her there, she's developing, and we are looking. It's just because at the grassroots level, you don't have so much females playing like you have males, like you have the boys. It's easy to find boys playing football. It's not, parents are, it's easy for parents to allow their boys to go and play football. It's a little bit difficult for parents to allow their daughters to go and play football.
There's Project Mbappe, but there's no Project Mata yet.
But yes, there's no Project Aisha.
Project Aisha.
Like that. So so what we are trying to do is that, so what we are trying to do is, okay, we have a female footballer now, and she's very good, very interesting. She's a defender, funny enough. So what we are doing is that, how do we get, females to be, even if they are not looking to go pro, but how do they take up the sport as a hobby? How do they get interested in the sport, to play the sport as a hobby? So what we are now trying to do, because there are many, and the problem is that at the grassroots, there are many competitions for boys. There are not so many competitions for girls to get involved. But the way we can then do it is to use the schools, because you have girls in schools. Going one-on-one to parents is not going to be
directly
easy, but
to the schools.
Get them from the schools. Organize competitions. Have a girls only competition for schools, and say, okay, it could be 5-a-side. Let's do a 5-a-side competition for girls only. Let's get schools, even if it's 4 schools, 6
Mm-hmm.
schools, 8 schools. Let's get them involved. Let's host a very short competition. Let's look out for some of the girls. Why? Because some girls, even when I was in secondary school, I knew girls who are very interested in football, but the school didn't have a girls football team. So they only come, train with the boys, and go. There was no way for them to play matches with fellow girls. So what we are trying to do now is, okay, because we have a female player, she will develop better when she plays with fellow girls, you know. So what we are now doing is to say, okay, during the long-term break, let's organize a competition for only girls, not boys. A schools competition for girls. Let's see some talents that are there, and let's now work with the schools to bring them into Honor Football Academy. Let's train them, let them come. We organize matches, we organize competitions, because that is what is really lacking. You know, we don't really have, you know, competitions for girls, you know. So that's for female football is a bit, and for female football it's actually easier for them to go abroad than guys, because it is not so stringent. Oh yeah, it's not so stringent when they are looking for female footballers. Nobody's asking for transfer market profile. They're only asking for, oh, let's just see your video. Let's just see your video highlights. If you are a coach, somebody's willing to carry you. You know, I've met with some agents who just deal with only female players. It's not as
saturated as a male. Yeah.
It's saturated yet. The
Makes
market
sense.
is still open, so it's very easy for a female footballer to really push out, go abroad now. So that is something we are trying to build on. That would be great. You know, as female
seems like there's an opportunity there, right?
You know, so there's an opportunity there. There's a big opportunity there for female football, because people are not really paying attention to it.
Daniel, it's been a great session, and honestly, I'd like for us to go on longer, but we're hoping to cap this at 45 minutes. But you've dropped a lot of nuggets, you've dropped a lot of insights. I've personally learned a lot. I believe that the listeners have heard a lot. We're going to put this on YouTube as well. We're going to put this on our story and on Instagram. But I just want you to please leave us with 3 key points, just 3 bullet points that every player should take into account. You know, every developing player, what are the 3 most important things that they need to keep in mind at all times? Your parting words.
Okay. Don't take this as the golden standard. Just take it as my own opinion, based on my own experience, because every coach or sporting director will give you their own view. But let me give you my own view. If you are a developing player in an academy, 3 nuggets, 3 points you should have if you want to develop, and maybe you want to go pro. The first thing, take your training seriously. Take your training. Most players, they don't take. Coaches watch what happens in training. Most players think they can just come from around, and especially skillful players, they are the ones who mess around during training, because most coaches allow them. I'm a kind of coach, I bench my star players. If you feel that you are too good, you don't follow instruction, I'll bench you. I'll put somebody that is willing to put in the work. So if you are an academy player, do not take training and practice for granted. Always see, every training is an opportunity for you to develop. So take your training seriously. Second, friendly match. Don't take friendly. Most people, it's not a competition. I'm not putting my best. Always see. You don't know who is watching you. Again, that's what happens when you because you can't always look at scout. It may not be in a competition. It could be in a friendly match. Somebody will just come sit down. Let me just watch. Oh, I've seen this talent. This guy is good. He's a hard-working player, and from there they pick you. So don't wait till it's only competitions before, because again, habit is something you form from a consistent basis. If you goof off in training in friendly matches, you most likely goof off in a competitive match. So, but if you take friendly matches very serious, you most likely take that attitude to a competitive match. Take it serious. So I always tell you, take your match serious. Then also, the last thing I'm going to say is, be prayerful, network with people. You don't know where your angel is going to meet you. Always be prayerful, always network. Opportunities abound everywhere. In the internet, there's lots of opportunities. Follow people, follow agents, follow academies. Look at what is going on. Look out for example, follow Bola Showcase. They always post opportunity.
Very true. Very true.
Is the truth, as minute as that is, I as an academy director, a coach, I follow Bola Showcase. As a player, of course, follow them. They're posting opportunities. How are you going to know opportunities if you don't follow people who are posting opportunities? It's very simple. A musician is always going to follow record labels. They follow the Voice Niger. They follow Nigerian idols. They follow their favorite artists. They want to know what's going on. They're looking out for opportunities. The same as a footballer, you must always be looking for opportunities. It's not rocket science. It's simple. You must be willing to put in the work, put in 110%. So those are my three tips.
Thanks so much, Daniel. The three tips: take training seriously, take your friendly matches seriously, because you never know who is watching. And thirdly, always keep your eye out for opportunities. And be prayerful as well. That's something that he mentioned. And he said, very importantly, the most important thing: follow Bola Showcase. Wow, thanks so much, Daniel.
Of course.
Thanks so much, Daniel. This has been a great one. Honored to have you on episode 1 of Baller Sessions. We'll be doing this more often. We'll be doing this more regularly. Like I said, we're going to just involve as many stakeholders as possible in this, because we just need to have a way of communicating things that are going on and simplifying it for people that have questions, right? We're going to talk to players. We're going to talk to directors. We're going to talk to directors in Nigeria, all across Africa. This is something that I think people can learn a lot from, right? Like I said, I've learned a lot. The listeners have learned a lot. Well, I think we've addressed most of the questions that were dropped, but yeah, any other one that comes, we can have a second edition, or a part 2 of this session. Thanks so much, Daniel. All right.
Pleasure being here.
All right. So catch you later, Daniel. Catch you guys. And this is the end of our official end of our life. Thanks so much, guys, for listening. Really appreciate it. Bye.